And we're back. You now listen to IBGR.network. IBGR is a call sign, as a radio station, but of course we are so much more than a radio station. We are a global network, now in at least 152 countries around the world. Thank you for joining us and thank you for listening in. Thank you for watching if you're on Facebook, but it's absolutely amazing. But I am your host Jan Roberts, the inspirational entrepreneur, and this is season 4 and this is already the third session, and I'm talking about grow up to go up. It's a favorite subject of mine because it's in the people lane, People for Success and IBGR.network. Now, you can go to our website, IBGR.network, and download the show notes, as well as so many podcasts. You can get to know the different show hosts, more than 40 from around the world. You can connect with us in our community and also download the app, of course. But we're everywhere. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube station. All these videos, you can find them there as well. But of course, also the Facebook videos live. We are everywhere. But like and share this with your friends, because for me, personal growth is so important. I talk about leadership and provide leadership solutions as well, but leadership starts with self-leadership, and self-leadership starts with personal development, personal growth. So everything depends on you growing through life, because you can't just go through life and at the end you look back and you look back then and say, I wish I had. And it's not spend more time at the office. It's a lot more things. Say more often to your family that you love them. I'm going to talk into that just now as well, but do more things and get out of that comfort zone, which is the comfort zone. And for the radio, I'm using inverted brackets because it's not comfortable. It's actually very uncomfortable at the time, but it is sometimes easier than to do what you should be doing. Now, personal development is something you should be doing every single day. You should be taking part in. Now, there is, of course, I mentioned it on the Facebook already. There is personal growth versus personal development. Personal growth. See, there is a PDP, which at work is personal development plan, and you can have your personal growth plan. Now, if you haven't got a personal growth plan, you need to start one. And I'm going to talk about the wheel of life, where you can have 8 areas you can look into first. But your personal growth plan should have spiritual, mental, and physical exercise in it, at least 1 out of the 3 every day, 7 days a week. And it could only be 5 minutes, but 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes is better than nothing. Plan about half an hour a day. Get up half an hour earlier and exercise and meditate or read something out of a good positive book. Half an hour a day. And then divide that. But I'm going to talk into that. But, personal growth versus personal development plan. Now, a personal growth is you growing as a person. And that includes your communication skills, your mental power, what goes in there, how you develop what you think about more, rather than all the negative stuff that happens all around us. We can decide, we can often do nothing about what happens around us or what happens to us. Sometimes we're restricted with, but we can certainly decide and choose what happens within us. And that takes personal growth, personal persistence, personal stability, personal power. Because if you want to reach your potential in life, and we've all got a God-given potential, the only way you're going to do that is by growing every single day. I've got a series of 15 videos, 16 actually by the introduction, about the book by John Maxwell, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And what is important about that is that every video ends with exercises you need to do, steps to follow, things to implement, because you can't. Knowledge is not power. I've talked about this so much. Implementation and also evaluation of that implementation, because practice makes perfect. No, practice makes permanent. If you do something wrong all the time, it only becomes more permanently wrong. So you need to grow and evaluate and put it into practice every single day. But personal development plan, now that also includes skills at work, tips and tools and skills at work for areas of improvement in the workstation. So maybe in your personal development plan in your department, you might need to learn a new skill to up your development in your work. You might have to, and that might have nothing to do. Yes, it'll give you personal growth, because every time you learn, you stretch yourself and you get out of that comfort zone. So that, of course, are very much intertwined. But your personal growth per se does not have to have the skills you need at work to develop yourself at work. I hope that makes sense. So that is basically the main difference about those. But I want to talk into the 8 areas of personal growth. See, when I have a coaching clients in personal coaching, I always give them some exercises to do beforehand. I also take them through a personal profiling, so they get to know themselves a bit more, where they are right now and how they communicate and how they learn and how they lead, all that kind of stuff. But I also get to know them a lot better. But also I give them an exercise where they have to fill in the wheel of life, and if it's got to do with business, I also give them the job of life. But the wheel of life talks into 8 different areas, and they're very important, because when you fill in the wheel of life, it shows you where, if you're balanced, and I'm not talking about work-life balance, but how balanced you really are. And the following subjects come out. I'm just going to go through them first, and then I'm going to talk into them a little bit. But this is important for your personal growth. I talked into 3 areas: the spiritual, mental, and physical. I talked into them how important they are to you, and to make a personal growth plan based on them. Now I'm also going to talk about the wheel of life, because these talk into the 8 different areas of your life. And that is health, friends and family, significant other, romance, woohoo, personal growth, it's come back again, career, money, fun and recreation, and physical environment. Now that's the 8 areas of life. And then what you do is you've got basically a wheel around the area with 8 segments in there. Now, in each of these segments is covered by one of them. And what you do is, from 0 in the center to 10 on the outside, you rate yourself from 1 to 10 in each area. And once you've completed them, you connect those areas, so your segment looks like that. If it's a 5, if it's 10, you'll be right at the top, and if it's 1, you're right near the middle part. But you connect them all, and then what you do is you shade in those areas from the center out. And then you look how your wheel actually looks for you. Now, so you have to do it honestly, of course, but what you'll see is how well you're doing in most of these areas. And if these were 4 wheels on the car, how bumpy a ride are you having right now? Because most of them, of course, aren't round. There's some gaps in there, and there's some a bit higher and some a little bit lower. But a wheel of life, you can find them probably on the internet as well. Do those kind of things, because they're so important to actually do, to find yourself, and also get to know yourself. I'm going to talk more into the profiling in a session coming up, but it's so important. And as I say, you can also do one for job performance as well, which is also very interesting. But really, when you look at these 8 areas, and I'm just going through them briefly. Your health. It talks into your mental, physical, and spiritual health, of course, but how much time are you spending at the moment? How healthy are you? Because with all that's going around us in the world right now, I see very little. I have no television, so and I haven't bought a newspaper for more than 30, probably closer to 40 years, but certainly more than 30 years. That's my personal choice. And I invested my money instead in personal development books, success stories, all those kind of uplifting kind of things. Because quality in, quality out. Now, does that mean I'm always happy? No, of course not. We all get challenges, but it's how quickly you bounce back. It's not how deep you fall, how quickly you bounce back. See, you don't drown falling in a puddle. You drown staying in it. So I can, as I said earlier on, you can actually, something happens and you react or respond. Also a whole story, and you should respond, because then you're in control. Reacting is something you do when somebody else does that. So start responding. Start thinking first, and then come with the right response, rather than reacting to everything. So even the things that are going on around you. Now, if you actually get up, if something happens, yes, you can be disappointed, sometimes frustrated. I mean, there's times in my life that it brought me on my knees. And I needed all my personal growth and development to help me back up. Yes, and it took a little bit longer than a few minutes. Unexpected. It's the death of a very dear friend of mine 21 years ago in March. I can still remember it, but the death of a very young guy, and it shook me to the core, because I never thought it would happen. But time for a story for a different time. But that's what I'm saying. Things happen to all people, but how you respond to it, and the more you develop yourself, the better. And these 3 areas keep coming back in your health. Now, your friends and family. How much quality time do you spend with your friends and family? And again, it's near impossible to actually travel, flights have been cancelled, you can't travel more than 5 miles or 5 kilometers outside your area, all that kind of stuff. But how much time are you spending with them on social media and sharing? Do a Zoom call, a Facebook Live with them, or what a Twitter. I don't know if they've got live videos, but certainly WhatsApp Live. I mean, you can still connect with each other. How much time do you have quality connections with them? And I need to connect with my family back home a lot more as well. I send messages as well, but we need to connect much more. I know that. Then the significant other and romance. Well, I'm lucky that my partner is here. We spent 4 months apart due to this, what's going on around the world. But it's so important. Then you have your personal growth. I talked into that already. Your career. How are you doing with that? Money. Fun and recreation. You need some time for that as well. You need some fun time because you can't work all the time. So it's so important. And your physical environment, of course. The environment you're in. Is it toxic? Then get out of it. You're not a tree, so you can move. But the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. If you ever want to live in the shade of a tree, you better start planting them. So people, keep growing in this. But the wheel of life, the 3 areas of life, whether you're an entrepreneur, it doesn't matter where you are, but take care of them all because it's so important. And I'm near my end of my time already. I've only got 30 seconds left, so as a global influencer, I provide diverse solutions for mainstream challenges now and all the time. But you can connect with me www.keyleadership.com or www.jrspeakersclub.com or find me on IBGR. But join IBGR, download the app, and I would love to see you again. But my name is Jan Roberts. I'm your host. I look forward to see you next week. So stay here for Tina, who's going to be next. Take care.